Hi there. So I've been looking into electroculture gardening. So I thought I'd get these solar lights from Bunnings. I think they were $12 each, and I thought I'd rip them apart and see if I can introduce solar into my garden. So I thought I'll tackle getting the cable out off from behind the light, because we obviously won't need the light, and we'd pull on the join just to rip it out, and we discard the light, and then we're left with the cables. We're going to take apart the solar panel here. We're going to remove all the screws. Inside there'll be a battery and like a junction, so the solar only activates the light at night time. So we want to bypass that and have the solar panel and its cables only, and we can use this as a housing for when we put it back together. So that's what we got there. We're going to disconnect the wires to the solar. And then we can override that battery, which we'll discard later. So now we're left with the two cables for the solar panel. We'll take the battery out. We'll cut the cables that will go into the light, because we can use those. So we'll trim them. Pull them through. And that's now just a housing. We've rejoined those cables we just cut, so we got that extra length, because we will need to put one onto the pole. So you can see pests have been a bit of a problem in my garden, so I put a copper pole into the ground, and this timber here we'll be using for the positive. We got the white is the positive and the yellow is the negative. So we have a look at the back of the light. You can see a little plus sign where I pulled out the white cable. So we're going to join that to the timber, wrap that around with a bit of electrical tape, then we'll just join it to the back of the pole, so that's not making any contact whatsoever with anything. So I run copper wire under that stake, run it over the garden wall, run a trench. This is the first solar panel. We've got wire going all the way along. It's going over the wall to my peach tree and continues back along the wall, goes down to my apricot tree. Got that nice and deep there. So it continues through behind the wall. Got it fairly deep there. It's coming up to another copper pipe and a solar panel. Hasn't been connected, but we'll point that towards the sun. Same trick with the positive wire on that one. And again, it's going over a wall to the lower garden bed, just to send a bit of power in there. So the negative is now being connected to the copper post on both of them. So now we need to test and see what happened to the soil. I didn't do a test beforehand, I should have, but we'll do some other tests. Don't really know how to use these things, but I've got to fiddle around and sort of got some readings going. So I've got a 0.53 there. So I moved the decimal point to get more of a better number, I guess. Like I said, I don't really know how to use these things. So I went over to a pot plant that we have on the other side of the garden and tested that, and we're getting a 0.3. Then I went to the lawned area across from our garden bed. There's my little helper. And tested the soil there, and we're getting a 0.2. So we went back to the garden bed to see what we're getting now that I've moved the decimal point, and we're getting up to a 0.6. My right hand was a bit shaky, but it held on a 0.6 for a while. So this tells me that, we are doing something positive, pun aside, to the soil. So hopefully we'll get more fruits, less pests, bigger greenery, bigger leaves. Apparently it should get up to about 30% more, but we'll see.